The mermaid holding a snowball. That's probably one of my favorite designs. I think it's hysterical. No one else thought so, though. So these are my pattern pieces. Here's the arm. Drew that out on Kona cotton cream and the bodies. And I have to sew the arms first, invert them, and I stuff the ends of them, the part that would be the hand, to just give them a little fullness. And then I position them and pin them and sew around the shape. Here it is. I sewed it, cut it out, and then I cut an opening in the back. I cut the opening in the middle of the shape because I know I'm going to cover that up with a boa or something, or a garland or something, so it's not going to show, in other words. So I invert it first, and then once I invert it, I like stuffing the tail a little bit and doing a little bit of detail stitching on that. So I'm speeding by all of these directions because you can watch other videos where I don't speed as much past these directions, but because I'm showing you several different ones each week, I just wanted to speed past it. So I did the detail stitching, and now I'm going to stuff the rest of the body, and I stuff it really firmly. This mermaid holding a snowball is probably one of my favorite designs, and usually, my favorite designs sell really well, but for some reason the snowball didn't, and I don't know why, because I think it's hysterical. Well, you'll see at the end. So I'm going to sew up the back, and then I'm going to have to paint her. Now she's going to be glittered with a kind of a magenta color, purplish pink color, but I'm going to paint her red anyways because when I first make them, I don't know exactly what color I'm going to use on each one. I know I'm going to use pink or that purpley magenta color or red, so I can paint all of them red. Except, of course, if I use gold, which I did in another video, then I paint that gold. But I'm going to paint this one red, even though I'm going to glitter it with magenta. The snowball is made from fleece that I needle felted. And I got the fleece from, where did I get it? Halcyon Yarn. I used to get it from a store that I loved called The Yarn Tree, but she no longer sells it, and it's Harrisville fleece for needle felting, and I use the white for that. And I show how to needle felt in another video where I show a snowman, so you can check that out if you want to know more about that. But I'm not going to show how I made it in this video because you can just watch another video. So I'm painting this with my beautiful Lumiere paints, and I have to, of course, let it dry totally. And I'm painting the face on here. I have another video that I made on painting a cute face, so you can watch that, and that gives more detail about how to do that. I'm using the red on the cheeks, the micron marker on the eyes and the nose, and then I do 2 downward strokes with a skinny paintbrush for the lips. There's a snowball. Yay, I love the snowball. And she is going to be wearing some mittens. So I cut the mittens out. Check out my hands. They're covered with paint. So it's dry though. So I cut out these mittens from felt, wool felt, and those get glued onto the hands, and then I do put a little trim, like fur trim, on the ends of the mittens. Yay, glitter. Dries clear glitter glue. And I think this is called Concord, the color of the glitter. It's really pretty. It's like magenta color. I love purple. I like all the colors, but if I had to choose at gunpoint a favorite color, it would definitely be purple. That I wouldn't even have to think about that. But I like all the colors. So here is that beautiful magenta color, kind of a pinkish purple. So I glitter the front and the back. Have to let it dry in between those glitterings. But here she is. I got the mittens and the snowball. So I'm going to glue the mittens onto the arms. Sometimes I accidentally glue them on upside down, and then I get so bummed out because I have to rip them off and then make new mittens because I ruined the mittens. But so what do I put around her waist? I don't think I'm going to use the boa because it'll interfere with the snowball. I'm going to use this, which is one of my favorite trims. And that's what I also use around the hat and the mittens. So I'm going to give her a scarf too because, you know, it's cold. And then I'm going to glue the snowball on her stomach. And then I'm going to position the hands like they're making the snowball. And there she is! She's the cutest thing ever. Am I right? Yay! Happy holidays. Thank you for watching. See you next time.